Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach. It's going to be the round 11 team lists preview, reaction, and also our tips for the week. So it should be a tricky little round this, with so many injuries. Well, these team lists are actually going to be quite interesting. Also, it's Magic Round, so that's there's going to be potentially a lot of players out, and of course, it's Magic Round. Still going to be a fantastic weekend, but we're starting out 6 p.m. Bulldogs v the Raiders. So yeah, of course, no Thursday night football on this week. So 6 p.m. Friday, Raiders Bulldogs. For the Raiders, Jordan Rapana is back in at fullback, so Nick Kotrick holds his wing spots. Yes, so Albert Hopewade just drops out, I guess. KO Weeks, Ethan Strange, still the halves. Forward pack, excuse me, as you'd expect. Not a whole lot doing with this Raiders team, if we're being honest. The Doggies, oh, thank God. There was one player I was praying to see with the potential injury he suffered last week, and that is Jacob Kiraz. Fantastic to see him named. I mean, he's going to be a bloody hard one. Like, I've picked him up. He could be an absolute super pod for me and anyone else who went him. He's got great bye coverage. He showed he can score big. Just for the love of God, Kiraz, I pray, I beg, can you just get through? Can you just get through the first couple of buys unscathed? He's a bit of a worry watching him. He gets twisted, and just the way he runs and gets bent and tackles, like, he's a worry. But can you just last for the first few buys, man? That's all I ask for Jacob Kiraz. But the rest of it, as you'd expect. Forward pack, Sam Hughes starting, but we'll see if that ends up happening. Jamin Salmon still starting in the back row, so Hayward, Curran, Morin, and Preston still on the bench. So, I mean, I talked about it last week that Preston is going to be a potentially a great pod pickup for the buys. Like Kiraz, the Doggies cover the first two buys so well. They play 13 and the backup 14. Then they play 16 and the backup 17. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Preston. I mean, I don't mind picking him up on round 13. That's fine. I'm just hoping he eventually gets the start. I mean, he'll lose some good cash. That's for sure. But I guess the problem, if he loses too much cash, people might be more inclined to go him, or he'll just become a bit irrelevant and people just won't even think about him. So I'm very, very tempted by Preston surely he gets a start pretty soon. Like, I don't know. Cameron Ciraldo loves Jamin Salmon. I don't understand it. I feel like he provides pretty much nothing on the edge. At least at lock, he has a little bit of ball playing to him, but on an edge, I feel like he actually offers basically nothing. So I'm shocked to see Preston not starting, but surely he gets the spot back pretty soon and playing some big minutes. But that's a good watch and see for that one. Next game, we got the Broncos v the Seagulls. Quite a few changes for this one. So they have gone with Tolutau Kula at fullback. So that becomes a potential. That becomes a very potential pickup this week. Or we'll have a closer look at him in the preview. Maybe you can wait a week. I'm not too sure of his break even and price, but it's a little tricky because I think, Manly do play the first bye. I don't think they cover it that well, but Kula at fullback, I mean, he showed what he did last year. He's an absolute freak. He's just, for some reason, he's just not relevant in the centers, even though every time he gets the ball, he looks, honestly, he's very similar to like Katoni Staggs, right? Like him and Katoni Staggs, in terms of Supercoach, like they both can have games where they bust tackles, they get a couple of tries and they score really well. But for the most part, even though the base is pretty good, they just don't quite have the consistency to go past that, like, mid 40 to 50 50 plus average more often than not. So Kohler at fullback, though, is a different beast. So that is very tempting. I'm very excited to see that. And it also, like, I love this as well because it means I don't have to go with the crowd. I mean, I wasn't going to get Dom Young this week anyway, just because I just can't do it after what he's done to me and missing out on that 160 last week. I can't go Dom Young, but this provides a little bit of a sideways, well, a bit of a pottish move for people that might not be able to go him unless they drop someone else they like. But we'll see. We'll see what it looks like for the team. Obviously, Tommy Talia moves into the centres with Ruben Garrick, Vega, and Jackson Paulo. Obviously, Jason Saab also out with that shoulder AC joint injury. Luke Brooks, Cherry Evans, forward pack is, Alakawatu comes back in, which is a big boost for Manly, for sure. Benny Trbojevic continues the starting role, which is, good. I don't know how he's been scoring. I know he had like a try assist the other game, but if you held Ben Trbojevic, obviously it's good to see that he's got the starting spot back. But Corey Waddell on the bench. You would expect him to do what he was doing before he got injured and come on in like the 50th minute, potentially even less. We'll see what happens, but it's good for them regardless. And then the rest of the bench. The Bronx, so Billy Walters out. Tristan Saylor also picked up an injury, even though he wasn't in the 17 last week. But another big loss. I know Ben Tikura also suffered an injury, so he's gone for a bit. The back line, Corey Oates, Staggs, Cobbo, and Mariner. Obviously, Arthur's out. Ezra Mam, Jock Madden does replace Rogers, which I mean is fair enough. Madden's been really good. He was the front runner for the second string halfback spot. I think Rogers did a fine job last week, but I think Madden deserves the crack. He was the nod originally. Forward pack, Tyson Smoothie obviously comes in to start a dummy half. Forward pack, Blake Moser finally gets his crack at the number 14 jersey. Is this going to be his debut? Has he played? I know he's played some trials. Has he actually played a game? I don't think he has. So I think this is his debut, Blake Moser. So it's going to be, I don't think he's going to get many minutes, but it's exciting to see the future talent at the Bronx in Moser. Willison, Hetherington, and Gazewski is still on the bench, which it is what it is. It's fine. I guess he does provide some decent cover. I didn't do my tips. I completely forgot about that. This is a tough one. I'm going to go with the Bronx. Without Tommy, it's a big loss. Kohler is a talent, but the Bronx, they're missing some players as well, but this is a game that they would want to win. They'd want to win every game, obviously, but this is a game that they probably should be winning. Playing at home, thankfully Manly like to take their games to Magic Round. I think they did say this is the last year they're going to do it, which is fair. As a Bronco, it's definitely nice getting a away game at Magic Round for sure. But I'll go with the Bronx in this one. I think they were pretty poor last week, but I think surely they can turn it around. The Raiders Bulldogs, I'm going to go with the doggies in that one. I think their defense is just a little bit too good for the Raiders' attack, and they probably just got a few more points in them than the Raiders do. Then we have the Titans v. the Knights. So the Titans also with some injury concern. Obviously, Brimson out, Smith Shields, Kieran Foran, and Philip Semi all out. Massive. So Keanu Kinney, he did play there last week, I should say. So he's just continues. Khan Pereira comes back in. Aaron Schopp comes in as well. Chris Randall and Sam Verrills as the starting halves. That is very funny. The Titans, they do have a surplus of decent sort of backup dummy halves. So Tanner Boyd, obviously he's gone. Foreign's gone. Yeah, they've gone with Chrissy Randall and Sam Verrills. I think it'll work okay. I think Verrills is skillful enough to do a decent job, and Randall, he's not a bad little 5'8" as well. It's going to be a little tricky on attack, but surely defensively they can starch up a little bit. Forward packs, so Aaron Clark becomes the starting dummy half. Fodawaker, Jolliffe, Fafita, Fermor, Cleese Haas, and Palacia comes back in. Isaac Liu, Pahulu, and Joe Stimson. You got the young kid there, Tommy Weaver. I thought he might get a crack, but I mean there might be a late switch, and Tommy Weaver might get a call up, but not to be yet. The Knights, so Daniel Saifidi and Tyson Gamble out. Armstrong, thankfully, he obviously picked up that head knock at the end of the game. There wasn't really much talk about it, but it didn't seem too bad. So obviously he passed a HIA, so good to see Armstrong named. I mean, he's going to be a potential... I mean, he should be a good play this week. The Titans can dish up some good performances at times, but surely this is a good matchup for David Armstrong. Nari Tuala, Dane Gagai, and Best have been named. They were under an injury cloud, so I mean, keep an eye on late mail for this one because they were both sort of, I guess, racing the clock. Greg Marju, Cogger, and Hastings, the halves. Obviously, Cogger comes in for what's his face? Gamble. Saifidi, Brayley, Thompson, Frizzell, Lucas Elliott. So Kai Pearce-Paul still on the bench with Crossland, Jones, and Hetherington. I mean, Frizzell also was under an injury cloud. I mean, it'll be interesting. If Pierce, surely, it was said on Twitter as well that Pearce-Paul was just getting a bit of a spell. So a couple of weeks off the bench. I mean, I don't mind it because I got so much depth in my team. It makes it a little bit easier. I'm not going to lie, though. It would have been nice to have Kai Pearce-Paul starting in this one against the Titans because it's a great matchup. But, yeah. I mean, hoping he comes back and starts pretty soon again because, I mean, he got 40 and 40 minutes last week, but you definitely want him playing 80 minutes. In my opinion, he's an absolute keeper if he's playing 80, but if he continues to come off the bench, it turns into a little bit of a dilemma. But this one, I got to tip the Knights. I mean, the Titans, I wouldn't be shocked if they continue their form, but they're just missing too much strike, and I just can't see them. I can't see them winning this one. I think the Knights they've been pretty good. They've been pretty good the last couple of weeks as well. Moving on, the Sharks Roosters. So, I mean, this one should be a big clash. Hopefully, Hines is back. It looks like he is. Hemlin, Ueli, and Kai Dykes out. I guess he was the 18th man last week. I see Joey Manu is out for the Roosters. Sharkies backline unchanged. Obviously, Atkinson and Hines. Actually, I saw that Trindle might get named this week. Because of some, I don't know, for whatever reason, it's been a delay in the charging or something, so that they were talking that he might get named, but it would have been crazy if they did. Atkinson, I think, has done a great job, so I don't know why they would do that, but he hasn't been, thankfully. Hines, I'm so glad Hines is back because this shapes up as potentially a very good matchup. Should be the match of the round, I would say, or one of them. And it would have been disappointing if Hines didn't play. Didn't play last week against the Storm. So good to see him back this week. I mean, I don't really care for Supercoach reasons because, I mean, everybody who's going well has Nico Hines. So honestly, I don't care if he plays or not because if he doesn't play, it actually makes vice captains and captains a little bit more you can go a little bit more adventurous, but he's back. Forward pack, Brayley moves back to dummy half. McInnes back to lock. Williams, Talakai, Hunt, and Tapuha. It's getting so tongue-tied, dude. Apparently, was he a former Rooster? I think I heard that. He's looked real. I've been very impressed with him. Obviously, short burst for the big man, but very, very impressive in his limited time. So it'll be fun to see him go up against his old club if he was a Rooster. I think he was. And then the Roosters. So yeah, Tedesco, Tupu, Suali'i, Panga, Dom Young. So Punga comes in for Manu. Oh, that's right. He did cop a... Yeah, it was right at the end of the game, he copped a pretty nasty knock. Just sort of copped the arm / forearm of, I think, Barnett when he tried to put a bit of a hit on him and got sort of smoked. So obviously failed the HIA for that one. I mean, I'm not going to lie, that's sort of good. I'm somewhat pleased by that as a non-Manu owner. It's a pretty big boost for me. I guess it's sort of a good and a bad thing, right? Because the good is that people that own him, they don't get to play him. But the other part is that it would have been a tough matchup. So potentially he would have lost money. Surely he wouldn't have scored another try, but I mean, he's been absolutely on fire. So he could have come out and scored another 80-odd and made some more money. So, I mean, overall good. Not good. Obviously not good for the game. I was just talking about the Nico Hines situation. It would have been great to see, like, full-strength teams come up against each other, but no Manu. Also, I mean, it's probably better for Dom Young that he's out. Like, surely Dom Young can have a fucking quiet game. He'll be up against... Is he up against Mulatalo? Yeah, he'll be up against Mulatalo. So surely Ronnie shut him down. For God's sakes, don't give him any space. Like, please, just shut him down. Luke Keary, Sam Walker, Hargrave, Smith, Collins, Crichton, Butcher, Radley, Watson, Butcher, Lenu, and Terrell May. So that is... I mean, it's good for Terrell May because they're still going with Egan Butcher over White. I mean, it's probably... I don't know. I'm a little surprised that they relegated White, but it's great for Terrell May, like, because White has sort of overtaken him in the minutes department. I mean, it's still a bit uncertain if Terrell May is going to play 30 or 40, 45 minutes. We don't know, but I think this bench is probably good for him. Again, Lenu's not going to play massive minutes. He never was a big minute forward, and obviously he hasn't played, he played last week, but he hadn't played for 8 weeks. Egan Butcher can play through the middle, can play on an edge. If there's any type of injury in the back row or the back line, then Egan Butcher will go to back row, and probably Crichton will go to the centres, and Terrell May get more minutes. Connor Watson, probably more fill-in for Brandon Smith. So he won't take many, even though Victor Radley is playing like 80 minutes anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a 50-50 what the hell is going to happen with Terrell May, but I think it's overall a good thing without White in the team. This is a tough one, honestly. I mean, I think I got to go with the Sharkies. I know, well, will they be favourites? They probably will be. I mean, the Roosters have had a couple of big wins, but they've been wins that have, like, I don't know. I mean, the Broncos, it was a big win, but the Broncos, they lost so many players that had man sin bin. I mean, the Broncos were coming for the Roosters, even with Reynolds off and then the sin bin and then not having any footy. The Roosters ran away with it. I think that game looked a little bit more flattering than what it was. And then the Warriors game, I mean, the Warriors have been dreadful. The Roosters got out to a massive lead and sort of, they took their foot off the gas. I'm not, it's not like I'm not convinced of the Roosters. They can definitely beat any side on their day. If they play their best footy, they're an absolute menace. But I think the Sharkies have shown enough now, and I think this is another big challenge for them. Nico Hines back in. I think it's a game that the Sharks will want to really stamp some authority. So I'm going to go with the Sharkies. Also, Manu being out is a big loss. I mean, defensively and offensively, it's a massive hole. Palgo, he's been really good every time he's had a chance, either on the wing or... has he played in the centres at all? He probably has a couple of games. I feel like he's mainly played on the wing, but he's done a good enough job. But he's no Joey Manu. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, buts about that. Moving on, we got the Rabbits for the Cowboys, the absolute blockbuster on Saturday night. Yeah, we'll see. Obviously, both these sides are just in dreadful form. The Rabbits, oh my God, Jacob Kakai is back, baby. Man, it's not great because obviously Johnston is back as well. I mean, I'm very happy Gagai is back, but Johnston will obviously go back to his left edge where he just gets to fucking catch the ball and put it over the line like he does 100 times already. Gagai, I guess the Rabbitohs, they've been going to their right a bit more than like previous years, but it would have been nice if he was on the left-hand side, but that's fine. He'll make some good cash. I don't think I've got the guts to play him this week. If he was on the left against the Cowboys, honestly, I'd be very tempted to have a sneaky pod of him playing him. But on the right-hand side, I don't think I can play him. Latrell Mitchell, obviously, back for the second week. Thompson moves into the centres for Cheekham. Cody Walker, Dion Talpa retains his spot. I thought he was okay. I thought he was pretty decent. Honestly, I think he did more than fucking Dean Hawkins did pretty much his whole time there. He had a few mistakes in him, but he looked dangerous at times when he took the line on, and I thought he was... I mean, for another pretty poor performance, I thought he was actually not too shabby. Mawali, Kepi, Cook, back row. Havili still has the starting lock spot, so Tellus Duncan's still on the bench. Tane Milne is on the bench as well. Oh, that's a little... it's a little frightening for our boy Gagai, but, I mean, they're not going to put Gagai back to the bench, surely, and start Milne. I mean, Milne... Just, yeah, fucking play Milne as a forward, man. Like, he's got the aggressiveness in his game. Like, just put him, like, you know, a very fucking wish version of Talakai coming off the bench and just doing some damage. Leave my boy Jacob Gagai out there for a few weeks, please. Then the Cowboys, so Semi Valame is out. Caulfield, Talangi, Valia, and Holmes. Obviously, Talangi coming back in is a big boost for them. Dearden and Townsend. Forward pack is as expected. Hilam Lukey starts. He didn't start last week. Fini Fuyaki was starting. But it's good to see Hilam Lukey starting. I mean, I'll have a look at his price. I don't think I can go there again. Like, I said it when he got injured. Like, this last time he got injured, I was like, I can't do it again. He's just too injury prone, but he's going to be a really juicy price. He's going to be a really juicy price for some potential upside, but I don't know. Fuck, I've been burned so much this year already. I don't know if I can do it to myself. I'll have a look. I'll look at him. Bench of McIntyre, McKaylee, Finifuaki, and Tamalolo. Actually, McKaylee, I mean, he throws the offload a bit nonchalant and a bit ambitious at times, but it's good to see. The Cowboys need a bit of that second phase. They've just been dreadful, and I think Thomas McKaylee's actually added a bit of punch to their side. I'm surprised they've relegated him to the bench. I thought he's been pretty good starting. Obviously, I mean, Supercoach-wise is actually going okay as well, I think. Probably not getting the minutes, but, I mean, the PPM's up there. He's throwing the offload left, right, and center. So, I wouldn't go there, obviously, but, I think as a whole, it's okay. I gotta go to the Cowboys. I mean, surely, I've been saying it for a few weeks now, but surely there's a bounce back for this Cowboys side. Like, they've been dreadful, but you still look at the team on paper is pretty good. Like, Townsend, I think, is still trash, but the forward pack has some strike. It's got some power. The back line has a lot of attack in it. Like, I don't know. They got to win this game. Surely they have to win it. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what that game's going to dish up. Warriors v the Panthers. So this will be also interesting. So yeah, Sean Johnson is out, which is as expected. I'm still shocked he played the full 80 minutes last week. Freddie Lussick and Rocky Berry also out. Tainto Picky. What the hell's going on? Chance has gone to 6. Tuapicky's back. I mean, you wouldn't have held Tuapicki that long. If you somehow managed to hold him, I mean, I was holding Blaze Talangi and Jacob Gagai. I couldn't hold Tuapicki as well in the hopes that he'd come back, but I mean, he's back, baby. Good to see. Different. Dallin Liatawa, very, very exciting young warrior. Has he played? Is this his first game this year? I know he played in the trials. Did he play early in the year? I can't remember. I don't think so, but he's in. Excited to see him go. Pompey is still the other centre, obviously, with Roger out. Montoya comes in for Cossie. I mean, fuck me, Dad. Not Pompey. Montoya. Fuck, what I wouldn't have done for you last week over Kossie. And Montoya is not a defensive stalwart, that is for sure. He can come up with some absolute Barry Crockers as well, but he is far better than Kossie. So that is a big improvement regardless of Montoya's deficiencies. Like I said, Klokstad and Tamara Martin starts at 7. Interesting. I actually think C&K will actually do pretty well at 6. Like, he's got good ball-playing ability at fullback. Obviously, a great run over the footy. So, just be interesting to see how he sort of plays it. I think he'll just be a running 5'8", but he can play a bit of footy. So, I don't mind it, actually. The forward pack, as expected, nothing changed there. Dylan Walker, Ali, Tavanga, and Laban is, yeah, obviously they don't have, who is it? Chanel Harris-Tavita. Is he still out injured? He must be, right? Looking at the Panthers, so we've got Liam Henry and Cleary out. So why is Liam Henry out? That's surprising. Edwards, Taruva, Tungo, May, To'o, Jack Cole for Cleary, Luai at 7. Leota, Kenny, Fisher Harris, Luke Garner. So obviously no Sorensen still. Liam Martin and Yo. Dane Laurie, Smith, Matt, Eisenhuth, and I can't speak tonight. I'm losing it. Maverick Geyer. He's not on the extended, so I guess, I don't know. Has Liam Henry picked up another injury? I don't know. Honestly, it doesn't bother me at all. He's just my 4th front rower. If he plays, he's getting 30 points. If he doesn't play, honestly, probably better because he's not going to be an AE nightmare. So I don't mind it at all. It doesn't bother me. Sorens, okay, so people... Obviously, there's been a few people keen on Luke Garner, and I mean, fair enough. He's like mid 500s. He's got back-to-back tons. He's always been like pretty Supercoach relevant. He's got good base. He's got good attack, and he's the only player on that left that fucking Luai passes to. He just will not pass it any further than Luke Garner. So any forward outside Luai is in for a treat, but fucking. Taylor May is just getting rinsed. So people are keen, but yeah, Sorensen is on the extended bench. So I get, this is one of those ones, like, if, you know, people were keen on like a Hosking earlier in the year. I mean, I guess earlier in the year, everyone had more trades, but I think this just depends. If you've got luxury trades, and this is very luxurious, if you've got some trades saved up, then yeah, take the price, take the potential few weeks. Like, I don't know, Sorensen might be gone for a few more weeks. You never know. He is a little bit, he's had his fair share of injuries. He does struggle the last couple of years. So, you know, if you got some trades to play with, I don't hate it. But if you've used a few boosts, if you've used like a lot of trades, I wouldn't take the risk. Personally, I wouldn't take the risk because all of a sudden you're bringing Garner this week and then you've got to trade him out next week, worst case scenario. So I wouldn't do it, but I can understand it. I mean, you got to go Panthers. I mean, even without Cleary, they still just do what they do. Like, you just got to go Penrith. And obviously we know Sean Johnson clocks out in the halves. I don't mind it, but it's a little bit makeshift. So yeah, it's a pretty boring pick, but got to go with Penrith in this one. Moving on, we have the Storm v the Eels. So I don't think there's too many potential changes. Silfa Longo is still the fullback. I mean, he is potentially going to make money this week. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. I think I'm just going to let Failongo go. He could become like a guy that gets a lot of points and makes some quick money for sure, but I think the way my team is set up, I just don't have the players to trade for a Failongo. Like, I've got Blaze Solangi, I got Jacob Gagai, who's back this week, that are going to make money, and then my other players are all like playable options. The only guy is Taylor May, but I want to trade him to an actual gun. Failongo, again, if you got a couple of options there that are not really doing the job, then I don't hate the Failongo play. Again, I think he's his Supercoach scoring hasn't been amazing, and I don't think it's not going to be consistently good, but I mean, he's a freak. Like, he could score 3 tries and go 100 plus very, very easily. He's that good. So I don't hate it. Personally, I don't think I'm going to be going Fa'alongo, but it's good to see him. It's good to watch him play. That is for sure. Backline is as expected. Well, no, Xavier Coates comes back in, which is a big inclusion for the Storm. Munster, Wishart is still the 7 with no Hughes. He's pretty good, Wishart. He was very good last week. He was very, very good. He wasn't good for his outside backs because he took a lot of carries, but he was dangerous. Honestly, he was very dangerous with ball in hand. Forward pack, as you'd expect. Eli Katoa doing great things for me. Bench of... So Jack Howarth comes in as the 14. They're finally giving Howarth a crack. I mean, I don't know. The Howarth situation is so strange to me. It's fucking weird. I don't get it at all. They spend like big money on this kid for years, and he's just... I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. Then you got Tui, Sofa Solomona, and Alec McDonald. So no sort of utility. So, I mean, Howarth can obviously go to the backs at a pinch. Well, not at a pinch. He can play center. So I guess he's the utility in that team. Then the Parramatta Eels. Who are they got? So Blaze Talangi obviously keeps his spot. Mike Acevo comes back in. Actually, was he... No, he played last week, right? Yeah. Didn't he? I think so. No, he was suspended. Wasn't he? Fuck, I don't even remember. I don't remember. Penasini, Sean Russell, Bailey Simonson was actually very, very good last week. Very dangerous. Dejan. Okay, so RC comes in at 6. Fuck, who was the 5'8"? Oh, Sanders. So Sanders is gone. Dylan Brown, the 7. Campbell Gillard, Lussick, Polo, Lane, Madison, Hopgood. So Madison's still the starting second row, but then you've got Cartwright and Kalmatualangi on the bench with Offengawi and Makatoa. So, Jesus Christ. I don't know what to make of this team. I mean, you definitely wouldn't be going Madison. And I'm starting, I don't know. They keep playing Sean Lane for 80 minutes, even though he's been dog shit. So, I don't know. Every time I look at the bench, I'm like, is Lane going to get less minutes? But he seems to not. So, I'm just gonna hold Lane. As soon as if he starts losing minutes, he's gone. I want to play him for the bye, but if I have to get rid of him, I really don't care. He's just a placeholder at the moment. He's a play if needed, and that's pretty much it. I mean, honestly, Bryce Cartwright is a guy, like, if he can lose, he'll lose a lot of money, and if he can get the starting spot back, I wouldn't mind having a little look at him. It's just, I don't know. He's just been struggling with that rib injury for quite a while now, so I don't know. It might be a while until he is 100%. But man, he just did such a good job for me last year that I'm slightly interested in Cartwright if he gets the starting spot back. But I don't know. Is Kalmatualangi going to replace Lane? Is Cartwright going to drop off and Brennan Hands go to the 14 like last week? So yeah, Sanders being dropped. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. There's also... Is it worse for Brown having Arcee there? Probably not. I think Arcee actually did a pretty good job when he had his chance. I know it was weird. Like, he got that knock and then Sanders was in the next week, but Arcee, I think, was fit. They gave Arcee a couple of weeks. No, they gave Sanders a couple of weeks. Arcee's now back. I don't know. I'm still very tempted to go up to Dylan Brown this week. I don't mind it. He's starting to make some money. He's starting to look pretty good. I mean, his combo with fucking Blaze Talangi is looking terrific. Like, just give him the ball and get some free line break assists. But yeah, I mean, I got to go the Storm in this one. Surely there's going to be a bounce back. Still no Jerome Hughes, which is a big loss, but I think they're going to be pretty fired up for this one at Suncorp. They love playing there, and this Eels side, it just keeps chopping and changing. It's so hard to sort of get any rhythm and combinations, which I mean, it's injury to Moses doesn't help, obviously, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. Got to go with the Storm. Again, pretty boring pick, but that's how it is. And then our final game, West Tigers versus the Dolphins. Potential couple of big changes. So for the Tigers, obviously Papali'i suspended for a week. Should have been fucking sent off for that trip. That was oh man, absolute shocker. The trip, so weird sometimes when a rule just sort of gets forgotten about, and I don't know. I'm not going to get too much into the rulings of rugby league, but the blatant trips are fucking awful, dude. Like, this is a fucking penalty. Johnny Bateman gone for a good chunk of the season with that pec injury, and Stafford Toa also gone for a while with the hamstring. So that means Brent Naden goes to centre and Alamolo comes back in. I mean, he was okay in his couple of games on the wing for them. It's fine. Lockie Galvin, Jaden Sullivan, the halves. Forward pack is, as you would expect, apart from obviously Seyfarth coming in for, Bateman, and Alex Twile starting for Isaiah Papali'i. Semi Fainu, I know, I mean, he's been a guy that I've sort of wanted to pick up for like 3 or 4 weeks now, but it just hasn't been a pressing issue. And then thankfully every week he's just sort of, he got sin binned, and then he had a bit of a shocker, and then he had to play centre last week. Like, it hasn't gone well for Fainu the last few weeks. I still think he's a great pickup. I don't know if I'm going to pick him up this week. I'm starting to feel like he's definitely not a must-have, that's for sure. And I don't know. I probably don't need him at this point, but I don't know. I'll have another look at him. I'll look at him again, see what he's priced at, see the break even, but I don't know, he's probably a guy I'm just going to let go through now. Bench of Simpkin, Pole, Kapa'oa, and Sione Fainu, the brother, comes in for, I think, his first game of the season. Is it a debut as well, potentially, Sione Fainu? No Ladu Fainu still, obviously, so not the triple brother threat, but Sione gets his crack. The Dolphins, so Hemiso does come straight back in. Obviously, Max Plath being out with that head knock. Jermaine Asako, Avarillo, Farnworth, and Bostock. Katoa, Nikarima. Forward pack. Similar. Felice Kafusi, Ewan Aiken. Bromwich comes in for Plath. So, yeah, Connolly still not getting a start in the back row. I was keen on him last week, but I think, yeah, with the options coming up, I think Connolly is a guy that, again, probably just let go. I don't think he's probably worth it at this point. Josh Kerr, Donahue, Raystone, and that man Connolly. Trey Fuller, 18th man. I mean, I don't know. People that got on Trey Fuller, it was an okay trade, I think, at the end of it. Obviously, he scored poorly the first week. Second week, he scored well. Made a bunch of cash with the trade, and obviously made cash just with price rises. So I think overall it worked out well. Actually, it definitely did work out well because the other fullbacks didn't really do anything. Like, Drinkwater struggled. Reece Walsh has gone. He's gone pretty well. Tommy Trebojevic is now injured. Like, yeah, I think the Trey Filler definitely worked out well for people that jumped on. Obviously not ideal, only getting 2 games, but that's what you had to expect with Fido tipped to be back this week. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm gonna every time I pick the Dolphins, they dish up a horrible performance, but surely this is a game that it's the games that they should win. They play terribly, but I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. A Queensland affair. I've gone with all Queensland teams to win this round, and hopefully they do us proud. So Dolphins getting the win over the Tigers in this one. I think they should have a little bit too much strike for this Tigers team, but yeah, it'll be I don't know. It'll be a fun watch at the end of the round. I guess it's a bit of a lackluster finish to the round, but someone's got to do it. So we'll see how it goes. But that's pretty much the team list. There's a few curveballs, but overall pretty stock standard. Hopefully, guys are enjoying the series. Make sure to like and comment. I'll see you guys in the next one.